I was broken long before I walked into that hospital. My husband had walked out a week before my due date, leaving only a note that read, "I can't do this anymore." My world collapsed. I gave birth in silence, without a hand to hold, to a fragile baby boy born 4 weeks early. He was tiny, pale, and struggled to cry. I was alone, depressed, and drowning. In the ward next to mine, a wealthy couple had just delivered a healthy baby boy. I could hear the laughter, the joy, the life I wanted. Their child cried with strength, mine barely whimpered. I envied them, not out of malice, but from deep sorrow. My heart was a cracked mirror, reflecting nothing but pain. A night nurse, older, with tired eyes, saw me crying. She sat beside me in the dark and whispered, "That couple's baby doesn't look like either of them." I looked at her, startled. She continued, "People make mistakes. Sometimes fate gives you a second chance." Was she suggesting what I thought? I shook my head. I wasn't that kind of person. But the seed was planted. The power went out that night. The emergency lights flickered weakly. I don't know what came over me, but I moved. I took off my son's ID band and snuck into the other ward. The nurse was already there. We switched the bands. I returned to my bed, holding the healthy baby. I stared at him all night. And cried. I took him home. I named him Caleb. He grew strong, clever, and beautiful. But the guilt never left me. I visited the other ward a week later. The other baby had been moved to NICU. I heard whispers. The mother cried every day. Her marriage was falling apart. And I said nothing. I followed her life from afar. Her name was Vivian. Her baby never fully recovered. She lost her job caring for him. Her husband left. I saw her once at the pharmacy, holding 3 prescriptions and counting coins. Her son coughed violently beside her. I wanted to reach out. I didn't. At Caleb's 5th birthday, a relative asked, "Why doesn't he look like you?" Others had whispered it before. But this time, my husband heard. He grew suspicious. The questions began. I took a secret DNA test. When the result came, I dropped to my knees. Not a match. My husband found the results hidden in my drawer. "Who was his father?" he screamed. I said nothing. How could I? He left. His family shunned me. I was labeled a cheat, a liar. I became the woman everyone pointed at but no one spoke to. Except Caleb. He still called me Mom. One day, Caleb asked, "Why don't I look like you? Am I adopted?" I froze. I lied. I told him he was special. But I saw the doubt in his eyes. I knew time was running out. I hired a private investigator to find Vivian and her son. They were in a small public hospital. The boy, Daniel, had a rare lung condition. He was 9 now. And dying. I visited the hospital in disguise. He looked exactly like me. He was asleep. Machines surrounded him. His fingers were thin, skin almost translucent. I heard him whisper in his sleep, "Mommy." I almost broke. I had done this. I took his life away. I wrote Vivian a letter. She didn't respond. So I went to her door. I fell to my knees and told her everything. She didn't scream. She didn't slap me. She just looked empty. "I always knew," she said quietly. But I couldn't prove it. She let me visit Daniel. I sat by his side every day. I read to him. Held his hand. Told him stories. I told him I was sorry. He didn't understand fully. But he smiled, a soft, tired smile. Daniel died 3 months later. Vivian never spoke to me again. Caleb found out the truth as a teenager. He asked me, "Was I ever really your son?" I said, "You are my heart. But I stole you." I live with it every day. 2 boys. One gone. One forever distant. I switched my baby at birth. And I have never known peace since. Sometimes I write letters to Daniel. I keep them in a small wooden box beside his photo. I tell him about the weather, the dreams I had for him, and about Caleb. I tell him how sorry I am. In those moments, I feel like he's listening, like he's somewhere, not angry, just waiting. But I also think of Vivian. The mother who lost her son not by death, but by theft. The woman who stood in silence while her world burned, and still chose not to ruin mine. Before Daniel died, she said to me, "You may carry regret. But I carry the weight of love with nothing to show for it." I offered money. She refused. I offered a public confession. She declined. She said, "Confession won't bring him back. But raising your son right might give him a future Daniel never had." I see her in my dreams sometimes, not angry, but distant, a shadow of the woman she used to be. I switched my baby at birth. I destroyed a mother's purpose. And I live every day knowing that Vivian gave me forgiveness, when I didn't deserve it. If you're listening to this, tell me, what would you have done?